Hey you, yeah you. Are you new to government contracting and you've been pursuing service-based contracts via SAM.gov, where you put in countless hours of assembling your team, putting together your responses to those RFPs, only to find out you didn't win, and you're feeling that the system may be slightly rigged against you, and you're just chasing your tail? Well, hey, don't give up. There is a better option, and it's called selling products to the Defense Logistics Agency, better known as the DLA. Hey, I'm the DLA Guru, and I've been in this space for the past 20 years, and I've put together a fantastic YouTube channel that's packed with information and hacks to give you some insight on how to position yourself to sell to the DLA. Take a look at my channel and subscribe today. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Yes, the DLA Guru is back in the building, yes indeed. On this beautiful Saturday morning, hailing from Dallas, Texas. Yes, I am in these YouTube streets yet again. Today is a fantastic day because, hey, guess what? Today is my regularly scheduled bi-monthly live stream where we're going to be talking to my brigadier generals and my Patreon member community. That is my members only content that we're going to be camming up and micing up closed circuit to talk anything and everything related to the DLA, government contracting, national stock numbers, vendor strategy, networking, teaming, you name it. Everything's above board, and it's strictly for my brigadier generals and my Patreon member community. So for those of you who are brigadier generals and Patreon members, you guys know how to find me. You want to go to the community forum tab. You're going to click a link that's just for your eyes and your mouse clicks only. That'll get you over here into StreamYard. And once I get a quorum of brigadier generals and Patreon members in my community here, in my waiting room, that's going to give me the signal to go closed circuit so that we can cam up and mic up and get it on and popping today. All right. So I'm looking forward to filling all the questions that are going to be coming my way. But until that happens, I do have for my general community of my subscribers that are out there, an action-packed presentation. If you guys have seen the thumbnail and you've seen the description, yes, we're going to be talking about the 3 Pillars podcast, the launch of my new podcast that I've been kind of chewing on it for the past month and just figuring out a way to bring some more content based on my history and my background of ways that I think I can both empower and inspire you for success, not only in government contracting, but just to be a well-rounded entrepreneur and finding other ways that you can tap into revenue streams that might be able to assist you with your business goals. All right. So this is what we're going to be kind of talking a little bit about, what that podcast is going to be and how we're going to breathe life into it. And hopefully you get a little feedback from you guys to let me know if this is something that you think will definitely add value to your lives and add value to my channel, because I'm looking to really grow this channel and get the message out to a broader audience that, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. All right. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So strap in, grab a pad and pen. I'm really, really excited about it. And hey guys, I got 3 screens here, so bear with me. I'm at the controls and trying to make sure all this, the production of this comes out. So if you can't hear me very well, I really appreciate the feedback that you can just throw into the chat and let me know, hey, DLA Guru, we can't hear you, because I can literally make adjustments on the fly. All right, as it relates to all this technology around me. So bear with me and let's get it on. So again, I am so happy to be here today. It looks like we got 3 concurrent viewers in the building. Fantastic. Hey, make sure you get those likes up for me, because man, I love the likes. It helps to get the algorithm going and get the message out to a little bit of a broader audience. But yeah, you guys are here today because you're like, hey, all right, he's talking about the 3 pillars for financial success. And that is what we are going to be talking about today. I'm so excited about this, guys. All right. So, but before getting into that, I want to let you know, for all of my brigadier generals and Patreon members that maybe kind of get, tapping in a little bit late, today's closed circuit topic, we're really going to be focusing in on stock investment strategies. I used to be a day trader back in the day, and I still do. I do a lot of little investments here and there in my own personal portfolio. And we're going to be talking about some strategies of how you guys may leverage investing in the capital markets to also help to grow your business. There's a lot of upside for you having a business and a business account with some of the large brokerage houses and investing in stocks, investing into other companies under the umbrella of your own company. All right. So we're going to talk about some of those strategies today. So if you guys are interested and you haven't upgraded your subscription to the illustrious Brigadier General level, highly recommend. There is a link that's pinned to the comment section of this particular live stream. You can click that link and you can upgrade your subscription to the Brigadier General level and come on over here in the StreamYard. We're going to have a lot of action today. This live stream will go, well, as far as the closed circuit conversations, it will go until about 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30 Central Standard Time. So got a little bit of time. The presentation I have for you right now probably take about maybe 15-20 minutes, depending on the comments that I have coming into the chat there. So again, if you have any comments related to the DLA as I go through this presentation, feel free to drop those comments in the chat, and I'll do my best to field them as we progress through this presentation today. All right, cool. Now, for those of you who are new to me and new to my content, my name is Kiwi Hendricks. I'm the U.S. government sales manager with the National Material Supply Company. I've been servicing the U.S. military through federal contracting by way of the DLA for the past 20 plus years. And so I've coined the name the DLA Guru for more reasons than one, as I've skinned my knee and bumped my head enough to know what not to do in order to be successful in doing government contracting with the Defense Logistics Agency, as well as other agencies that are out there. So that's what this channel is really all about. It's about government contracting. But again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm looking to kind of diversify the conversation, because diversification is the key to success in any business that you're into. And so today we're going to be doing a little bit of not a deep dive, but we're going to scratch the surface on the 3 pillars of financial success that I think you definitely want to consider. And I'll give you some strategies and a pathway of how you can maybe get involved with your own business as well. All right. So I want to just welcome you guys to my channel. A lot of folks don't really know my background from an educational perspective. Of course, you can find me on LinkedIn. Just go at the DLA Guru. You can search by my name on LinkedIn. You'll see a lot of my credentials. But for those of you who have not visited me on LinkedIn, I graduated from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in upstate New York back in 1996 as a mechanical engineer. A very, very difficult feat back in the 90s in order to become an engineer. And upon graduating from RPI, I ended up taking a job in St. Louis, working in corporate America for Anheuser-Busch. So I was a corporate engineer for about three or 4 years or so, I believe, when I was working for AB. And then I ended up taking a job working for Boeing after that. So I was a mechanical engineer working on many programs for Boeing based out of St. Louis. And through that journey in corporate America, I also was able to achieve an MBA from the Olin School of Business at Washington University in St. Louis. So I do have some credentials that kind of follow behind me. So as we're talking about the 3 pillars of financial success, I've done it all. And I just kind of thought, yeah, it might be kind of cool to talk a little bit more about all the different ways that I have learned over the years to be successful, or to find ways to be financially successful, that has all contributed to my success in government contracting. All right. So like I said, strap in, guys, because I got a lot to talk about today. And hopefully this will both, again, empower and inspire you for success as well. So of the 3 pillars, and again, it's a very catchy name for the podcast, the 3 Pillars Podcast. I consider this episode 1 as just kind of an introductory, because I don't have a special guest on this particular live stream. However, in the future, I have an action-packed list of different entrepreneurs in different types of industries, entrepreneurs that you've probably never ever heard of, but they are experts in their own right, in their individual industries, and they are very successful in those industries. And we're going to be bringing those guys and gals on as special guests in my podcast in the future. So if you're interested in just making sure that you are abreast to whenever those podcasts are released, you want to be a subscriber to the channel. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. You want to hit the like button to help me out a little bit. And by all means, share this content to friends and family, because, hey, we're getting ready to get it on and popping as it relates to ways of making other revenue streams within just business in general. All right. So the very, very first pillar of the 3 pillars that I recommend is that you got to know a little bit about investing in stocks. Investing in the capital markets and the equity markets is very, very important as it relates to diversifying revenue streams for your business. And a lot of folks, they kind of stay away from the stock market because it's like, oh, it's like gambling and things like that. believe you me, guys, it is nothing like that at all if you know exactly how to do it. And so again, through this, through my podcast, I'm going to be dropping a lot of gems and kind of giving you guys some ideas of how I've been able to be successful in buying and selling stocks. The first thing that you want to think about when, if you're thinking about investing in the capital markets, one, this is a way that you are able to build wealth, because this is not short term. This is kind of a long term wealth strategy, especially if you guys are entrepreneurs and you're thinking about cutting the, cutting your umbilical cord from the 9 to 5. I think being able to take cash and invest it in Bitcoin, and investing in companies like Tesla and Nvidia and companies like that, that there's a lot of buzz around, being able to take some of your cash that you're winning from those government contracts and investing them in the capital markets for a long-term strategy towards your retirement goals. So investing in stocks, very, very important when you think about your retirement goals. Now, things that I employ within my investment strategy, I always, every single day, if when people come in my office, I always have the flash screens with CNBC. Is my I guess my content of choice as it relates to tracking the stock market. So CNBC, of course, that there's Bloomberg, there's MSNBC, and all those other different networks that are out there. But for me, number one is CNBC. I always recommend it to friends and family that if you're interested in learning a little bit about stocks and you're still kind of like on the fence and you're not exactly sure if you want to get onto the playing field, you want to watch CNBC daily. Once the markets open up, it's 8:30 Central Standard Time is when they open up. And once they hit that opening bell, you want to turn on CNBC, have it playing in the backdrop, especially if you work from home, or even if you're, you have a desk job and you have a 9 to 5, you can pull it up on your app on your phone and just kind of have it playing in the background. You don't have to watch it like you were watching a movie religiously, but just have it be like white noise in the background, because you wouldn't believe learning the vernacular, hearing about how money is moving through the capital markets. It's one stair step to how you can begin to position yourself to get excited and have a comfort level of investing in stocks. All right. So I highly recommend CNBC. Then you also want to look to research different industries. There's a lot of industries that are out there. And what I mean by that, it's like if you want to get into the technology sector, everyone's talking about AI now. So you want to start to kind of research like companies that are involved in AI. Or, like sports betting is a thing, and so there are companies that are publicly traded that are into sports betting. I'm not going to name them just in this particular live stream. As time goes on, I'll be kind of dropping dimes on some of the stocks and some companies that I'm actually researching. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not certified. I don't have a Series 7. I'm just a regular person with an MBA and an engineering degree that began to do the research. I began to read some books, books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, written by Robert Kiyosaki. I read that book when I was 21 years old. So being able to just kind of research and just involve yourself in the know-how and the knowledge base of what it's like to invest in the equity markets is what I highly recommend for those of you who are beginners. All right. Also, investing in what you know. Warren Buffett has always said the best way to make money in the stock market is to invest in things you know. Like if you love Nike tennis shoes, invest in Nike. If you drink Starbucks every day, buy some Starbucks stock. So invest in things that you know, because you know what the quality of that thing is. And also, if you find companies that you don't like what they're doing for whatever reason, you can also invest in those companies in a way you can actually short those companies, because you're like, what, this company is going to end up going bankrupt because I'm having bad experiences. And if I'm having a bad experience, so are probably other people having bad experiences. So there are ways that you can actually hedge that bet, and with the hope that the company fails, because if they fail, then you make money. All right. So there are just so many different ways that you can make money by investing in what you know. And again, the three pillars podcast, we're going to really be doing some deep dives as time goes on just strategies that I've employed in order to find success and investing in the capital market. So I'm hoping that you're kind of liking this very, very first slide that's out there. Hit me some likes in the on this particular video. Looks like I only got 1 like and 5 concurrent viewers. So Yeah, hey, let me know if you like what I'm saying, or if you've even heard of what I'm saying, or if you're opposed to what I'm saying. Drop any engagement, any comments in the chat. I really love anything that you guys have to drop to me. It just makes me, feel like, okay, I want to add value. My channel is all about adding value to my subscribers, because I know taking time out of your day to watch what the DLA guru is cooking over here, it means a ton. So I want to make sure that when you spend some time with me, that you're going to walk away with something that can both empower and inspire you for success. All right. The next pillar, I highly, highly recommend in investing in real estate. Believe it or not, guys, when I was 23 years old, fresh out of college at 21, I worked for about a couple of years, worked for Anheuser-Busch, and stacked up some paper, and I was able to invest in my very first property at the ripe old age of 23. All right, and the way that I did that was, one, I had to get involved in understanding. So I grew up in the inner cities of St. Louis. My parents, they did a fantastic job in raising my sister and I. But hey, guess what? I didn't grow up in a house. I had no idea at the age of 23 how to actually buy a home. I had no idea. Couldn't talk to my mom, couldn't talk to my dad, because they hadn't done it. So I had to really take it on to figure out what needed to be done to invest in real estate. So for those of you who have not actually purchased a home, or purchased a secondary piece of property where you're having some revenue generating as a revenue generating asset, this podcast will definitely help you guys, because I'm going to just spill the beans as to my journey and my strategy. And I've amassed a fairly nice portfolio of real estate properties, both here in Dallas and St. Louis, believe it or not. So, hey, I think I got a little expertise where I can kind of shed some light on that. And I do have a special guest that I'll be bringing on. I've already talked to them, and they have invested a ton into real estate and have done very, very well for themselves and made themselves financially free. And we're going to have that special guest coming on in another episode of my Three Pillars podcast. But back to investing in real estate. You want to create diversified, tangible assets. And that's what real estate does. Stocks are more intangible because you're kind of a passive investor. You don't have any authority necessarily as to like how that company operates, right? But it's still good, because that's where you can kind of like lock and load, and you can fire it down range, and you just let that investment do what it does. That's as it relates to stocks. But real estate is a little different. It's a little bit more hands-on. It's more involved, and they're tangible assets. So you can control the risk. You can also control the reward as it relates to real estate investments. Strategies that I think that are very important. It's one, understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. Most time when you buy a home and you're living in the home, that's considered a liability, because it's not a cash flowing investment, right? So it's basically what I call, it could be a money pit depending on what type of house you're buying. So you want to be a little careful of how you're investing in buying a home for yourself. So I highly recommend looking at the long-term and short-term rental approach. So when I mentioned that I had bought my first piece of property when I was 23, I actually purchased a duplex when out in St. Louis when I was 23 years old. So I lived in one of the apartments, and I had an apartment above me that I actually rented out. And back in the day, it was a young lady who was a chemical engineer at Anheuser-Busch, and she was my very, very first tenant that I had in the apartment upstairs. And believe it or not, the way that the building was situated and the location, because real estate is all about location. She actually her rent contributed to 70%, literally 70% of the mortgage value. So even though it wasn't 100%, but hey, it offset my obligation on the mortgage, and she helped 70% of that was paid through her rental payments every month, and so that was just it was a green light that went off in my head, like, wow, buying multiplexes, multifamily properties, especially if you're in a state or in a city where there's an abundance of those. Like here in Dallas, there's not a lot of multifamily properties here, like smaller. There's a lot more high rise or mid rise apartment complex. So it really depends the city. St. Louis has a ton of 2-family, 4-family, and 6-plexes that you can invest in. So I imagine, areas like Detroit and within the Midwest, you'll probably find a lot of, especially in Chicago as well, you'll find a lot of those types of property investment opportunities. But anyway, you want to kind of think about long-term and short-term rentals. All right. Take classes. Believe it or not, when I mentioned that I had no idea of what it was like to buy real estate at the age of 23, I actually ended up connecting with Gundaker Realtor at the time. And the real estate agent that I had linked with, she told me about some free classes that Gundaker offered for first-time home buyers. So I would burn the midnight oil, literally get off work. And I think they were having classes like evening classes around 7 o'clock p.m. way back when. And I would literally go to these classes and learn like all the lingo as related to like getting the home loan, what LTV stood for, and all the different vernacular and terminologies, so that I felt a little bit more in control of how I was going through the process of actually acquiring the property and acquiring the keys in order to manage the mortgage and PMI and all those different kind of things. And so taking classes, getting access to the information is going to be key when you're thinking about investing in real estate. And last but not least, you want to invest in areas that you know. All right. It's always this thing where people are investing in things that they really don't know a whole lot about. When I say that is the key, that has been my key to success, investing in areas that you know and you can kind of understand the market. Once you understand what the market is like, as far as if there's an opportunity for it to appreciate, if there are new builders coming in, of course, you don't want to buy on the high side of it. You want to try to get in, you buy low, you sell high kind of thing. But knowing about the areas that you are interested in investing in is going to be paramount in order to being successful investing in real estate. And again, my podcast, the Three Pillars Podcast, we're going to be diving into a lot of these, deep diving into these concepts and topics as time goes on. So I'm just really excited about the opportunity to present you guys with some other information that, again, it's all going to surround government contracting in one way or one form or another. Because keep in mind, the U.S. government buys everything. They buy real estate. They invest in, they do contracts for real estate. They do contracts for investment vehicles and all this kind of stuff. There's so many different ways that if you learn and you diversify your lane of like your expertise, you may find opportunities within the federal government to leverage those expertise and go after bigger contracts with the U.S. federal government. All right, cool. Now, keep in mind, my channel is all about adding value. And of course, I am the DLA guru. So when you guys come here, you're learning about the DLA, and that's never going to stop. So I want to let you guys know that, hey, I still offer the mill standard 129 unit ID labels, and they are very, very affordable. It's a lot of student clients and folks that are seeing my content out here on YouTube. They are taking advantage of these particular labels. I think the other day we had a label order of like 1,000 labels. Someone had won a contract and they had 1,000 items on their contract. So they went to HECdistribution.com and purchased some of these labels. And so for those of you who this may be your first time hearing about the labels and saying, hey, what is this? Well, for every DLA contract award that you get, you are responsible for meeting the terms and conditions of that said contract. And let me make this a little bigger for those of you in the back. And so for each DLA award, there is a mill standard 129 unit ID label, basically that you have to, it's like a barcode, like you see on the screen here, that this label goes on every single product that you ship to the designated DLA depots. And every contract has this requirement. And if you don't label it correctly, you can get your contract into storage room B, and you can get in what's called a litigation situation. And so it's very important that you know how to meet the DLA where you have to meet them and adhere to the terms and conditions of those contracts. And so when you come over here to HEC Distribution, you can find these pre-printed labels. We have the smallest 3-inch by 2-inch labels that are within they're fully compliant to the DLA's requirements, and these labels are currently selling for 15 cents a label. Yes. So when you come over here, and in the description of this particular live stream, you will find the link that will take you over to HEC. As a matter of fact, StreamYard has a new way you can buy these labels too. There's, for those of you, because I noticed that some of you guys are watching my content from home on your flat screens, mounted flat screens, so you may not have access to the description of the video. So up in the left upper left-hand corner, right above my head here, there is a QR code. You can scan this with your phone, and this will take you over to hecdistribution.com. You can bookmark this site. So when you get your DLA contracts, this is where you can come to get those labels. And I highly recommend, if you got contracts with 100 or more items in your contract, this, I think, is a very good value add to you. Very simple to use the site. When you come here, you just basically transcribe all the information from your DLA contract. You put them in all these particular fields here. Just fill them in one by one. Very, very simple how you use the site. And again, up here, it tells you the step-by-step. There's a 5-step process that you just follow. Just kind of read, watch, rinse, and repeat, right? And you put all that information in here, and then you just add the number of labels that you need on your contract, add it to the cart. And once you check out, you're going to get those labels pre-printed and delivered to a doorstep near you. All right. So this is what being able to get to be involved with the DLA Guru, adding value. This is what I'm all about, guys, adding complete value to you. And so that's basically what you'll find. All right, cool. So that's where you find these labels at hecdistribution.com. Right products, great price, goals met. All right. So those are those friends over there. And if you happen to reach out to them, let them know that the DLA Guru sent you. All right, cool. Now, of the 3 pillars, again, let's recap. The first pillar was in learning how and getting involved in the capital markets and investing in stocks. That's the first pillar of financial success. The second pillar of financial success is investing in real estate. You want to get involved in tangible assets. I know everyone's like, the economy is crazy. The interest rates are high. DLA Guru, how are you supposed to do this? If there's a will, there's a way, but you got to first start with getting the education, getting the inspiration, putting it on your vision board. Like, all that stuff matters in the entrepreneurial community. You have to kind of think it in your head and you hold it in your hand. That's how you get involved. But the first thing is understanding what these things are. So that way you feel more confident when you begin to pursue diversification of your business's revenue stream portfolio, right? So those are the first 2 pillars. The third pillar, and in my opinion, the most important pillar, is going to be launching a small business. It's, sometimes I kind of talk in because it's so, common knowledge to me of starting a business. It's nothing. I started my first business back in 1998. And, a lot of folks, I think, don't really do it, maybe because they don't understand how easy it is to do it. And they say, well, why start a business? Why get an LLC when I don't have an actual business? Don't worry about all that. Just get it started, get it registered. Starting a small business is a way you can turn your passion into profit. I remember when I was in Olin in business school, there was one professor that mentioned, that he asked a question in class, and it was like, hey, what is the reason that you get involved in the business? And I knew off the top of my head, it was to make money, right? And so that was the answer, to make money. The only reason to get into business is to make money. But hey, as time has gone on and all the different businesses that I've started and stopped and sold and things of this nature, I've learned that it's not only just a function of making money, but you want to do things that you are passionate about, because you don't want your business to feel like a job. You want your business to feel like an extension of you. All right. So I've always been an advocate, a proponent of investing or starting businesses that I'm inspired by. I get invigorated by. Like, I don't mind missing sleep over, because I just can't sleep because I'm so excited about the business opportunity. If you guys can notice here on YouTube, this is a new business for me. I started this YouTube channel approximately 2.5 years ago, and you guys can hopefully see the energy on these are not edited videos. These are live. I'm giving you my soul when I came up and mic up here with you guys to let you know I'm really, really excited and passionate about the conversation, the topics that I'm discussing, talking about the DLA, talking about government contracting, talking about investing. That's what this 3 Pillars podcast is really going to be all about. And if I can do it, you can do it. So turning your passion into profit is one of the key reasons that I believe you should start a small business. Also, you want to form a legal structure for the tax benefits. A lot of folks don't understand that forming an LLC, you actually will get yourself in a different perspective, a different vein of how you could do taxes, because now you have a legal structure by which you can do write-offs against, and you can begin to breathe life in it the way that you want to breathe life into your business. So forming an LLC, forming some INCs, getting involved in nonprofits and things of this nature. It's all very, very important to diversify your tax basis. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a tax professional, so I have to just say that, just preference. I want to make sure that people understand that I'm just a guy that got the information and I applied the information. And if I can do it, you can do it. All right. So there are a lot of benefits to forming a business from a tax perspective. Also, you're able to solve a problem in the market. And as you guys probably all have heard, the bigger the problem that you solve, the bigger the reward, right? So, being able to encounter a problem that you may have in your life, and you're like, you know what, I just really think that this is a solution to the problem for myself. And typically, if you can solve the problem for yourself, you can probably solve the problem for a whole lot of other people. All right. So that's a kind of a way that you can think about launching a small business. And then once you kind of get it up and running, you will find that the US federal government has that same problem. So they have those opportunities where there's RFPs and solicitations that are out there where you, if you're an expert in your field, may be able to let the government know, hey, I can help solve that problem for you. And you can run up a bag as a result of it. All right, cool. Things that I highly recommend as well. And I don't think a lot of folks talk about it, but I'm kind of old school, as it relates to my educational background. But writing a business plan, I think, is very, very important. And, with the AI out there and ChatGPT, you can typically just throw something inside of ChatGPT and have the robot write your business plan for you. But I think if you follow the process of getting an outline of what a business plan should entail and following those step by step, and you actually breathe life into answering those questions that populate what a business plan looks like, not necessarily to take it to a potential bank or investors, but a business plan for yourself, like an executive summary as to the why behind your business. I think it will be a great roadmap or a plan for you to execute against. To always being able to put pen to paper, to be serious about it. Every single business, even this YouTube channel, I've written executive summaries as to the reason why I'm putting together this, my energy and my thought process and forming something around a business. Like, for example, the DLA vendor network, it's trademarked. We've actually trademarked the DLA vendor network because I have a long-term plan to execute against as to how I'm going to add value with my team as well as my knowledge base to you, my viewers, on how you can apply some of these concepts to maybe help you with your business and your business goals as far as DLA contracting is concerned. All right. You may have business goals of getting involved in investing in stocks or investing in real estate, or even starting a small business. For those of you who are new to my content and you're not even a business owner, and you're like, well, how do I get started? Well, you're in the right area. You're in the right area of YouTube, because I'm going to be working to help you with anything that you may be thinking as like obstacles of how you can get started. We're going to just speak in layman's terms and bring it down to earth to let you guys know that, again, if I can do it, you can do it. All right. So writing a business plan and executing against it is going to be paramount in being successful with anything that you're getting involved with as it relates to, businesses and diversification and revenue streams. All right, let's see if we got any comments in the building. Looks like we got 5 concurrent viewers, which is awesome. Appreciate it, with 2 likes. Hey, for those viewers that are out there, if you're liking what the DLA Guru is cooking, I highly, highly recommend that you guys hit the like button, hit the like, and let me get parity to my views and likes. And it looks like, hey, let me put this on the screen here. It looks like we got a new member. All right, fantastic. Let me go ahead and give a round of applause. Firebird Optics is a new member of the channel. Really appreciate you joining. Looks like you are a brigadier general as well. All right, so looking forward to having you. If I remember, I remember Firebird Optics. I think that's Gordon. Gordon, if you're out there in these YouTube streets, fantastic, man. Go to the community forum tab. You'll see a link that will bring you over here into StreamYard. And because I'm getting close to the end of my presentation, so you can come up and mic up with me over here in StreamYard, and I'm sure, Gordon, you got a host of questions to ask And I'm looking forward to being able to field some of those questions today for sure. All right, cool. So let's get back to last couple of slides that I have here. A lot of folks reach out to me and they say, hey, DLA Guru, I'm looking at some of your video content because I get a ton of emails, guys. And so, by the way, if you want to be a part of my newsletter, because we do send out, some nice nuggets via email that you don't see on YouTube, I highly recommend you guys join my email listserv. The way you do that, just shoot me an email at fed.contracting@nmsupply.com. You can find the email address in the description of this video today. Just send me a little email. Let me know who you are. If you got a company capability statement, you can throw over the wall as well. I always like to find out companies that are out there that are trying to find their lane, trying to find their position as it relates to government contract, especially with the DLA. But again, my channel is all about the DLA, and that's why we coined the DLA Vendor Network. The best steps to get started with the DLA via SAM or DIBBS is you want to access training. You want to get access to training, networking, and mentorship. That is the best way, in my opinion, on how you can really 10x yourself with being able not to like skin your knee and bump your head and waste a lot of time trying to figure it out. If you get access to the training, you get access to the networking, and you get access to mentorship, people like me, and there are other content creators on YouTube. We've been doing this for years. And so not many folks are on YouTube. And the reason why there's kind of been a boom, or, you're starting to see more content because, folks are saying, hey, you know what? I got enough information in my head, what's under my hat and between my ears, that I can now start to help other people. So that's what my channel is all about. You want to get plugged in. Best way I think that you can get plugged in, like Brother Gordon has gotten plugged in today, is one, upgrading your subscription to the Brigadier General level, so you can come up mic with me bi-monthly over here on in StreamYard, and we can talk anything and everything related to your business. I always love meeting new folks and learning about your business and figuring out how I can help you grow your business. I also recommend that you consider joining our DLA Vendor Network for free. You can join us over on LinkedIn. Log on to LinkedIn. I stress it in probably 99% of my videos. LinkedIn is the place where it's the place to be if you're really serious about being a professional. It's because it's a platform unlike Instagram, unlike YouTube. It's not really for entertainment. It's really for professionals to network and to figure out how we can make money together, right? And the way you find me is at the DLA Guru. Just search that into the search field on LinkedIn and request to connect with me over on LinkedIn. And if I'll take a look at your profile, if I think your profile is, you got what it takes, you got the right stuff, I'll invite you over into our LinkedIn, our DLA Vendor Network LinkedIn community. It's by invite only. All right. So I highly recommend that you guys start there. That's, you always want to figure out how do you start. Just kind of dibble and dabble in. And you're like, all right, okay, cool. I like that DLA Guru, but hey, I want to talk to you, DLA Guru. How do I talk to you? Well, I offer a 15-minute pre-screening phone call as well. You can find the link in the description of this video, or you can literally connect your calendar with my calendar. We can get on an actual call, not a video call, but an actual phone call, the conventional phone call. And I can learn a little bit about you, figure out if I believe that some of my training programs will definitely empower and inspire you for success, if they will be a benefit to your organization, learn about some of your goals. And by the way, I have no problem telling you, hey, I don't think the DLA is going to be a good customer for you because of where you may be within your business. All right. So it's all about, if you want to connect with me and have that conversation, you can reach out to me. Also, again, I'll reiterate, you want to join my members only DLA Vendor Network. Highly recommend that you guys consider here over YouTube. I got over 30 videos of members only content. Each video is roughly about an hour and a half long of one-on-one training that we've done with a lot of the vendors that have participated in both the Patreon community as well as the YouTube community here, where you'll get a lot of nuggets. A lot of folks email me and they say, hey, these videos that you guys putting together are fantastic. And these are just things that I never knew, but I'm glad that I know, and it's helped them to be successful on their DLA journeys. All right, cool. So that's all I got for you guys today. For the viewers that are out there, thanks again for watching. Thanks for spending a little time with your boy, the DLA Guru. Hopefully you guys are liking kind of, some of the way that I'm putting together this content and trying to just find ways of being just adding more value. I'm all about adding value because I think if you exchange great value this way and that way, that we all grow together in this community with the DLA. So again, thanks again for watching. All of my content information is in the chat there. Hey, it looks like we we just had a late comment that just came in. We got Denise she says, oh dang, I missed it. Well, no problem, Denise. You can find it on the replay. The replay is going to be fantastic for you because a lot of folks watch my videos on the replay, as a matter of fact. So hopefully, Denise, that you'll be able to get some value out of today's live stream. Just as a recap, I will be launching a 3 Pillars podcast. I call it the 3 Pillars podcast. I'm going to be breathing a little life into that and bringing on special guests, some live interviews with folks that are very well versed in many communities. I got some folks that are like artists that I'll be talking to. I got real estate professionals that I'll be talking to. People who are in the capital markets that I'll be talking to. This is a litany of different folks that I know and people who are part of my network that I think might be great to give them a voice and for you guys to hear people that are, not necessarily like the pop stars or, the influencers that are out there, like those bigger channels. We're going to bring it down to earth and just find people like you and me who are out here doing our thing and seeing how we can help each other grow as a community. That's what we're getting ready to do with the DLA Vendor Network, guys. So looking forward to it. And Denise says, hey, looking forward to it. I like being in the live video calls though. All right, yeah, fantastic. And believe it or not, as the channel grows, as this as we look at the podcast, Denise, there may be opportunities for me to learn a little bit about you and have you be a special guest as well. I highly recommend, Denise, that you consider upgrading your subscription to the Brigadier General level so you can come on over here and link over here in StreamYard. I can learn a little bit more about you and see how we can maybe be of assistance in helping you with your business goals as well. All right, so that's what that's all about. But until I meet you guys or see you guys again, thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you at the top.